Welcome back to another video. Driving home from Thanksgiving dinner with all the fam. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. I think 37 of you now. I appreciate each and every single one of you. But anyways, driving home from Thanksgiving dinner, and I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna start tearing down Kaitlynn's 24 valve VR6 just to see what went wrong with it, because obviously you guys know the blue head gasket, there's no compression, that motor sounds cooked. Sat outside in my driveway for a couple months when we did the 12 valve swap into the GTI. That motor sat exactly in the same position as it was when I dropped it right out of the car, and I have not touched it since. So the other day I pulled it inside because it's gonna start snowing any day now, and I figured, well, I might as well tear it down and see what's still left of it. Not gonna be a complete tear down, probably just gonna tear the top half of it apart, drain the water out of it, and then just call it with that for now. But yeah, figured drive home and start on that. I figure I might as well do a little pull for you guys. Put her in sport mode, 70. Can't get too fast though. Don't need the government seeing it. Anyways, now back home. Got the good old Mark 7. No, I haven't introduced this car yet. I will soon. But if we go in my right now very messy garage, just got done building some sleds. Oh, rebuilding some sleds. Sash built a whole entire sled. Didn't film any of that because that was just me and my buddy type of thing. We got Kaitlyn's old 24 valve in here, and I suppose I might as well show you around. That ain't supposed to be there. That ain't supposed to be melted. It sat outside for a number of months. I don't know if you can see it, but there's condensation on that dipstick. Sat outside, no cover, no nothing. But inside, it is actually still pretty clean. It is still pretty decently clean. That motor's always been pretty clean, especially when I did the valve cover gasket. Surprisingly, inside of this motor, in pretty good shape. Minus the fact that it now has a blown head gasket. But what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna clean up the garage a little bit, get some music going, probably run to the gas station, get another propane tank, because it's a little cold out. GTI, by the way. We got some parts for this that we're gonna put on and the start of spring. Otherwise, here she sits for now. Anyways, gonna get the garage cleaned up, gonna get all the leaves and stuff off this motor, gonna get the clutch and flywheel off. Oh, hey, there's something. Now it's probably from the fat water leak it had, and the old oil leak. That valve cover used to piss everywhere. I'm gonna try and get my engine stand out, try and get the other piece to it out, and put that thing up in the air, try and get it on the stand, hopefully. Kind of doubt it's gonna happen, but hopefully I can. Get it up in the air, get it on the stand, and start tearing it down a little bit. Hopefully. This is all kind of just speculation. I don't have an engine hoist with me, so I'm gonna have to use the ceiling. Also, another plan is I'm going to go through all these 24 valve parts that I have. Obviously, you got this one's got the hole in it. You guys know this one's got a spot and rod. So I'm just going to go through all this stuff, sort out what's good, sort out what's bad, and kind of make a game plan. Because in the end, I'd like to kind of factory refresh this motor. So new bearings, new hardware, new gaskets everywhere. I got a spare head over there that's still good. And eventually it's gonna go back into this car. As much as I like the 12 valve on paper, in practice it's just not very fun. So, but that's all kind of future plans. We will see as the time comes. Anyways, I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I'll see you guys in a sec. Alrighty, got the garage cleaned up a little bit. I need to get some pig mats for all the oil mess, coolant, and two-stroke oils everywhere. I'm gonna use this box for, or maybe I should probably go that way. Use this box to sort out what's good from what's bad. What's bad, I'll just throw in a separate corner. And got my box cleaned up a little bit. Emptied that little guy. Finally put my tools away a little bit, because I've been slacking on that. Anyways, I think first order of business is to pull the plugs and see the condition of those, because I have no clue what the condition of this motor is, if I'm being completely honest with you. So first order of business would be cleaning out all the junk. Let's get to it. Okay, got these plugs out, and they're not looking too hot. Now, I bought these plugs brand new, originally way back when I had my blue car and had that spun rod bearing 24 valve in it. So these coil packs are pretty much new, and almost every single hole had water in it. None of them had oil in it, which is good. Shouldn't have oil in it because obviously we did the valve cover gasket and all the seals and the shit. Well, you can see it looks like they all got kind of hot. You know, is that between, you know, the motor running hot like it did, or me when it blew the head gasket, I just kept going. As I was thinking, it's fine. It'll make it home. It's already blown. There's nothing I can do about it. So I just kept running it. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get this intake manifold off. I'm going to try and label everything. I'm going to try and put bolts back. Everything, well, every bolt back where they were. This is already pretty much loose. Pretty much got to do this line. The connection is already done. And this vacuum line. And this guy right here. And this whole entire valve cover should pop off. Pretty easy. Oh yeah, I gotta do the dipstick as well and the vacuum block, because this motor is pretty much bone stock. So set you guys back down and continue on. One thing I'm noticing, which I really don't like, every single one of these 6mm Allens was hand tight. Didn't have to crack loose any of them. Now, is that my negligence, or obviously because it got hot? I don't know. Kind of doesn't make me feel very good, because obviously if I built that car by myself, I did everything to this motor by myself. Almost makes me wonder if the failure is something bigger than what I thought. So I guess we'll see. We'll get all these Allens out and go from there. Alright, I got the intake manifold kind of loose. No, it is loose. Already popping it off. Let's see what's under there. Under this bad boy, I still have stuff connected. Okay. No water spurting out yet. That's always good. should have everything out of the way. Nope, I got a coolant line. I got a coolant line. Uh-oh, hold on. No, I don't have the proper tool to do these clamps. I don't care. What it reveals is what I already know. Carbon all over the intake valves. That's pretty normal for 24 valves. Oh, let's see what's in the intake ports. Oh God, this thing is a mess. Don't let your engine sit outside. I feel pretty dumb for letting this one sit outside for as long as I did. What we find is a little bolt laying there. I'm gonna do that. And let's get the light on. Alrighty. That looks pretty good. Those focus. Oop, I'm starting to see some rust down there. That's no good. Rust. Those look okay. Those have rust on them. And those back ones look okay. I think the next thing I'm going to do is clean up all these leaves and get the valve cover off this thing. One thing I do know that the engine still has time. I cranked it over a million times after I blew that gasket because, I mean, like, it's a blown motor. What's going to happen to it? I know the top end spins, so we can already rule that out being an issue. But anyways, I'm going to get all the leaves off of it, try and blow the holes out. Oh, jeez. Like I said, don't ever let your engine sit with water. Just don't let them sit outside. Don't be me. Just don't be me. Anyways, gonna rip this part more and see what's up. I suppose while I'm trying to clean this off, I'll give you a little backstory about this engine and a little backstory about the car that it came in. Originally, this engine came out of a 2004 Jetta GLI, reflex silver. If you guys scroll back to one of my older videos, it's actually in video, and I do have video of this motor running. I love that car. Bought it for $1,000 in a sketchy, like really sketchy alleyway in Minneapolis. Bought it for $1,000. All the front end was messed up in it. It needed fenders, core support, fans, radiator, condenser. The very minimum to get it home, it needed a knuckle driver's side axle and wheel lugs. And I got there, worked about a week trying to get it back together to drive home. Drove it home. All I did was do an axle, a knuckle, wheel lugs. Drove it home and the car was very sketchy. The driver's side control arm ended up being loose, along with both front control arms. Well, the toe, because the subframe is bent, control arms are bent, struts were bent, and everything. The knuckles are bent too. Everything just was all wonky and crappy. So for a long time, I didn't know exactly what it was. Eventually, I got rid of the car. Traded it for a 97 Audi A4 180 non-quattro front-wheel drive 5-speed. That ended up being an absolute pile of garbage. Kind of got scammed on it. I managed to talk the guy I traded with into trading back because of how big of a piece of shit that car was. Anyways, when I got this back, got the Jetta back, me and my buddy Jacob, we went through, we put a new subframe in it, new control arms, new knuckles. At the time, the car was already on coilovers, as I had to buy struts for it. And that was kind of the car for the rest of the time. It didn't exhaust, homemade exhaust, fenders, hood, headlights, bumper, core support. Everything was changed out. Really, really, really fun car. I had a huge blast with that car. I put 13,000 miles on it and on this motor. Pretty much trouble-free. Oil leaks. I had a coolant line burst once, but I mean, 20-year-old rubber. What do you expect? But ended up, I had the GTI, which you guys already know about. I ended up having this motor put in that car as the chassis on the Jetta, where the strut tower meets the rail. The pinch weld was starting to break. So if I had kept driving the car any longer than that, the car would have split in half and probably killed me. So I had someone, I'm not going to name names, I had someone put this motor into the GTI, trying to get it done as quick as I could before a pad rally. It's a big car event out on the East Coast. Got it in there on the night home, blew it up. And it is what it is. Cars aren't perfect, you know, stuff isn't perfect. I don't believe it's any fault of the guy who did the swap. He's a pretty decent friend of mine, so I'm not blaming it on him. I'm not blaming it on anyone. It just happens. But ever since then, obviously, I've put the 12-valve VR6 in the GTI with all the 24-valve accessories, trans, all that stuff. But it just keeps nagging at me that this motor, that I just left this motor the way it was. I feel like there's some reason other than auxiliary water pump failing that this motor caved in the Ghost. So, and that's what we're trying to find out now. Let me grab a 10 mil and we will rip this valve cover off. Like I said, again, no fault to the guy who did the swap. He did do a pretty good job, and it also was in a really, really tight deadline. So he got it done. But like I said, unfortunately, stuff just happens. Stuff goes wrong. You know, it's a part of life. You know, no one's perfect. Every perfect person has the most failures. And that's not in a good way either. But back in these loose. Ooh, this one's tight. Right. These almost look like they're deformed. It's just corrosion on them from sitting out in the rain, out in the cold. It's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way. It's pretty chilly. But I mean, what do you do? I'm not really worried about getting too much dirt into this motor because obviously at the moment we don't know the condition of it. All I know is that it's blown. So I can almost spin this crank over by hand, just free will. I am going to go get a extension and get that off a little quicker. I don't have a hammer, so there she goes. Oh, some of those are still, ooh. Oh, damn, that does not smell nice. That smells horrible. Smells like burnt, like sad burnt cheese or something. Oh, that is not a good smell. Wow. Well, interesting. Definitely got burnt. Definitely ran hot. This engine was not that dirty originally. I wish you guys could smell this thing. It just smells foul. Underneath of the valve cover is pretty clean though. I mean, the motor wasn't nearly this dirty before. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Originally when I got this motor, it used to obviously leak everywhere. Once I fixed that leak, it started leaking more from the oil pan, cracked the oil pan. So it took forever before I actually changed the oil on it. I probably put, I don't know, 7,000 to 8,000 miles on this motor before changing the oil on it. And in between that time, obviously when I got it, I did an oil change. In between that time, I had not done an oil change until I did the oil pan again. So, I mean, this could be from, yeah, it could be just from that, 7,000 mile oil change, which is more reason to do your oil changes on time. Otherwise, it's a weird, oh, that's just how the lobe is. Yep, that one's like it too. It's weird, they've got like a little divot before the actual lobe itself, and on the other side. Yeah, weird. Otherwise, it actually looks pretty decent in here. There's no rust, no anything that I see. And obviously, you still got the seals for all the plugs. I suppose I can let's get a socket on that and spin that motor over a little bit. I'm sorry that for my mess of a toolbox. I don't really have many tools right now. Most of them are at work. This is just what I decided to keep home. And okay, that spins the right way. Ooh. Here, I'll give you guys a better view. Oh, it sounds like there's a lot of rust built up on the other side. Plus the pressure plate is loose, so that's probably where all that noise is coming from. But as you guys can see, pretty much effortlessly turn this thing over. It's pretty bad. There is no compression on any of those cylinders. Keep in mind, I still have the plugs in this thing too. Oh, it's still, look at that, the oil pump is still good. It's still circulating oil. Cams are still in time, which is always good. I'm just really surprised that it's not worse up here. I figured with how many months it sat outside, it would be in much worse condition. Yeah, no, she still spins over freely. There's no, hold on. Oh yeah, that's coming from the clutch side. So that's not bad. I don't hear anything weird in the bottom end. Nothing loose. Doesn't feel loose at least. So I am hoping and praying to God that this motor was still good. On the bottom end at least. As you guys have already seen it in our previous 24 valve talks. This head is good. It did get hit by cylinder 1, but it did not damage the head. You can't feel it. You can just see a clean spot and a clean spot on the piston that corresponds with it. Anyways, I think what I'm going to do now, strip this motor of its wiring harness, strip the motor of its vacuum system, and also put paper towels and everything just to get it, cleaned up and stuff. We'll vacuum out these ports and pull the plugs, and we'll go from there. All right, obviously got all the harness off the motor, got the vacuum system off the motor. Right now, I'm just working on getting these couple vacuum lines and stuff off. Excuse all my butt shots. I know you guys love seeing it. Pliers, pliers, pliers. Put them back up here. Anyways, what I noticed, broke a couple injector clips. The clip for this cam sensor is broken. I did not know that. And there is one port on the head that goes to the airbox for the SAI. I also did not know about. I always had it plugged off because I never knew exactly where it went. I know it's not the right way to do this. I'm sorry for all the people who don't like watching. You don't need to watch. Out of the way. I'm putting everything away in a box also, because I just want to keep all this together. Everything that's good is staying together, so I can keep track of where everything is going. I have not pulled the plugs yet, not throwing any gates yet on the cylinders yet. Otherwise, yeah, it's coming along slowly but surely. The harness was actually in pretty nice shape still. Not very much was broken. I will mention that all of these little fucking guides, those are all gonna stay if I do end up rebuilding this motor, because they are really nice to have. They make the harness look nice. I know a lot of people hate them, but hate all you want. You keep your stuff looking nice. That still has water in it. Ooh. Yeah, that's no good. Next thing I'm going to do, probably pull the thermostat housing off, pull the timing cover off, and see what's under the timing cover. So I'm curious to see how these chains look. I've never once pulled these chains off. Well, I've never once pulled this timing cover off. All I've ever seen is up here. This guide's honestly in pretty decent shape. Has some wear, not too much though. So a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mil Allens. Crack pipe is aluminum. I did not do that. But I will tear that apart, get this valve, get the timing cover off, and see what's under it. Well, got that in time. Noticing the exhaust cam is not lined up perfectly with the intake cam. I don't know why that is. This motor always had a timing fault since I got it. And I'm not exactly 100% sure why that ever was. Wasn't ever able to figure it out. But now that I look at it, probably because the exhaust cam was out one tooth. I don't know if that's a bad variator or what. I don't know. It always had very good power. Never ran wrong, never did anything, minus the fact it blew up, obviously. But I don't know. I'm getting the tensioner bolt out now. Just getting this bad boy out. It's really, really, really long for no reason. Still has good tension. Probably the original bolt too. Thing has, the motor has almost 200K on it. But I would not be surprised if that was the original bolt. Let's see if I can get you guys set back up. Wow. Alright, I'm just going to set you up right there, so you can pop this valve cover off together. Already got all the 5 mil bolts around it out. All I got left is these two 6 mils and to pry the thing off. So these two bad boys out. Once I get this cover off, I'm going to put all the bolts back through the cover just so I don't lose them. Otherwise, I should have everything off and out of the way to be able to pull this cover. Kind of excited. Never had this cover off. Ooh. Need to pry on it. Don't know what to pry on. Maybe pry it over. No. Maybe pry it from there. No. No. Come on. Now I'm going to sin a little bit. I'm going to get my big screwdriver. Make this a little easier on myself. It's cold. It is cold, guys. Oh, duh. There's one that I missed. This teeny tiny little bolt right here. Wow. I am surprised I missed that. Exactly, going back to my point, why no one is perfect. Even though I've torn down a couple of these before, I did not remember that bolt was there. I could have broke that timing cover, I could have broke that bolt, and this would have not been a good day. Look at that. Believe it or not, if you do it right, it works just fine. Okay, so first off, that seal's really sad looking. Otherwise, not too bad. I don't see any rubbing on any chains. Oh, wow. Those are the original timing guides. I need to put this down somewhere. Oh, drop something. No. Hose clamp. Original timing guides. 198,000 miles. Wow. Look at that. Actually appear to be in pretty good shape too. These cams, not so much. They look pretty dirty. Nothing that can't be cleaned up. But well, it's solid. That's solid too. That one doesn't move at all. Coolant passage looks okay. There's a little bit of blue crust in there from some blue coolant that used to be in this thing. Wonder if I can get this pressure plate off, get this clutch off, and pull the lower timing cover off. So far though, I'm actually pretty happy with how that looks. Actually looks pretty good. Alrighty, I got the clutch off and then realized those are triple square. And I don't believe I have any triple square on hand. Nope. 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 No, I don't have any up here. Yeah, no. Okay, well, I guess I will have to go to work and get my triple squares, which is not happening today. So I figure this video has been going on long enough. I will end it here. Interesting things we know now. For one, the bottom end of this motor so far at least seems fine. You have original timing guides, original timing chains, original variators. It's a factory clutch, that's original, and besides the fact that it's absolutely smoked now from sitting in the rain, it actually used to work just fine. It actually had a good bite, didn't slip. I've done so many launches off that, you don't even want to know. Another thing we know, the thermostat housing was loose. Only one bolt on it is tight. It has obviously the aluminum crack pipe. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know right now at the moment. I'm not going to crack cams loose or do any of that until I have the whole timing system exposed. Then at that point, I can go through and, you know, pull the clutch off, pull the cams out, pull the chains off, inspect all of that, and pull the head off. That'll be the ultimate telltale if this motor's any good. So I'm gonna leave it be for now. I'm gonna clean up all these bolts, all this stuff, sort through all of it, and get it in the safe box so they don't go running away. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I hope this actually ends up being good. And obviously we will see as the next video comes along. I don't exactly know when that'll be. Hopefully it'll be soon. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I appreciate every single one of you. Appreciate every single day. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, motor.